Hey everyone, I'm David Room, and today we're going to be working more on the low poly spacecraft interiors that we were starting on the other day. I'm going to get some music started here. I've kind of been enjoying some more chill music, especially late at night here, so that's what we're gonna try this atmospheric chill synth playlist Oasis from White Bat Audio today. And before we get into the spacecraft interiors, I'm just going to show a little bit of something that I've been working on for the past couple days. And it's I've forced OBS up now. Oh, that actually works. Nice. Okay. So I've been working on some stuff for 3D printing. Basically, one of my goals with this project is being able to 3D print the models that I make. And toward that end, I am working on some utilities to be able to basically just do some various things that would be required for assembling these models. So I'll just show a little bit of this. I have a 3D printing bench file here. So the model that I'm working on here is this Rakan ship. I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times if you've watched my streams before. And this is the low poly version. I'm just using the low poly version to test this out so things are a little quicker. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking some of the smaller parts and attaching little pegs to them. And I'm also cutting holes. So this is a peg that's going to be attached to this antenna, and then this is going to be a hole that's going to be cut into the other meshes, and then same here. So we have this wing. I'm going to be attaching a couple of pegs, and I need to come up with a little bit better design for these pegs for this wing. But and these will be holes. So the result ends up looking like this. If we grab one of these antennas and translate it up by local Z, you can see we have a peg that goes into a hole here. And similar thing here. Local X. Actually here, it's not local X that we want, it's going to be global X. Actually, no, it is local X. So then we end up with all these separate parts. I need to add these pegs and holes to this wing. End up with these separate parts. We have slots, and we generate some 3D print files, or just OBJ files that we can 3D print. So that's coming along. But let's get back into the simulator room furnishings. So just to review, Actually, let me just quick make sure that this is gonna... Actually, for this it might not matter too much because we're not going to be looking at the actual game super often. Actually, I should take a look at that. I think I can actually make this come up on monitor B. So we have various rooms in our carrier where different things will happen. Like we have like a briefing area. We have the cargo hold. The characters are bunnies, because there's a special bunny mode for my daughter, and that's activated right now. There's the quarters where you can collect different things, different artifacts, and look at messages. So what we're building is we're building a room, an interior room like this, for the simulation mode, which you saw here at the beginning. So the simulator mode is going to be a mode where you can kind of do an instant action type thing where you can just choose different ships and like a engagement zone, basically a background or some scenery, maybe some space stations or things, and then launch. And the AIs aren't set up here, but it'll be just like a nice instant action kind of mode, make it easier to test and debug things. But I'd like to have nice menus and nice areas in the game for all these things to sort of give it an immersive quality. That was something that the games that inspired me always did, and it's something that I really appreciate. So I'm building a simulator room. I have a little sketch here that I did. Let me see if it's showing up. Some different scenery that I want to have in there. So we've got a bit of this, but there's a couple things. We implemented a nice method of doing low poly cables and cords. I'd like to add a little bit more detail. I'd like to add a trapdoor or a panel that's open in the floor with some cables going into it. I think that would give a lot of nice detail. Then we have to set up a simulation area with the different simulator hardware. And I also want to build like some kind of a mini computer that's sitting on the floor on casters. Let's take a look at how far we got with this before. So I'll just close all of this because I was kind of working on the 3D printing stuff. We'll set that aside for now. And as usual, I'm doing all this modeling programmatically because I like code, I like programming. I think it's a nice way to be able to build reusable pieces and be able to remix things and work with things in different ways. So I see Doug Wise here. He says, caught up. Love the music tonight. Thanks. Yeah, this is Atmospheric Chill Synth Playlist Oasis by White Bat Audio. I've been enjoying the chill stuff a little bit more, especially getting a later start. I don't need to give myself any more stress. We're just gonna take it easy and kind of have fun with this. So some good chill music helps. All right, so that's our 3D printing bench. Let's bring up our normal workbench here. So we'll just take a look at a couple other rooms just for starters, just for reference. So we can see what we're building. So here's what the cargo hold looks like. And I forget last time, let me just take a look, because I made some updates to let's see here. Yeah, I think I had done that just before the last stream. I made some updates to the shader code that I had modified the polyscope matte cap renderer with, and I'm really happy with it. I don't know exactly how I had come up with what I came up with, but I was like doing some extra normalizing, and that seemed to be what was causing the sort of like pinching and discontinuities, which makes sense. So the resulting code is way simpler and it looks better. Mainly what you get over the default behaviors, you get these nice gradients across flat surfaces because you're choosing the matte cap based on the eye vector and its reflection rather than the normal. So it makes it kind of easy to see and compare different surfaces a little bit better. Yeah, so here's our simulation room. So we've got a couple of desks, we have the projector, we've got a cable running, but I want to add some more, and I dropped the pilot's helmet here, but we want to add some additional simulation hardware and a mini computer here on the floor. We probably won't get to it tonight, but it is possible we'll get as far as, or I'll decide to look at actually getting this into the game, but that might be a project for another time. So let's see, what do I want to work on first? I think the hardest thing to do here is going to be the simulation hardware. So let's actually get started with that first, and I'm going to actually take a look. Yeah, here's what it looks like in Blender. I need to import a little bit dimmer matte cap like this into Polyscope because it's a little easier to see. It's not so washed out. Okay, so let's take a look at the simulation hardware first. So I was loading in the cockpit. Let's see, where is it? Oh, that's the simulator UI. I think. Yeah. Actually, let's split this one. Let me just see. I want to take a look at this cockpit mesh quick to see if there are any easy tweaks that we can make to it to make sure to kind of fix it, make it look a little bit better, and get it ready to use here. So actually I'll just load this to the bench quick. So an easy thing I could do right away, which I think is probably the route that I'm going to take, is just nudge these pieces out a little bit so we don't have this ugly overlap. And I could also just make these 3 separate pieces that we return so we can work with them individually. So let's see, this is old code. I haven't looked at this for a while. Yeah, this is the dashboard. Oh yeah, the side. Yeah, so let's see here. Side axis. See how this looks with one. I have some better tools now for modeling. We'll be able to do some cooler, better cockpit stuff. Yeah, see that looks quite a bit better. And what we can also do, because frame, let's see here, where are those sides? So we have some stuff going on here and how we construct this that we have to be careful about, because I'm building face colors into it. But I think it doesn't really matter what order this is in. So I'm actually going to assemble the dash. This is just getting unioned here. So I'm going to union the dash. With this stuff. And then we can just return this as an extra argument here. Yeah. And we just have this in 3 pieces. Okay, so Okay. So now what we can do in our interior here is we'll actually take this and this here and go back to our simulator here, simulator room. Basically 3. What am I missing here? View meshes. Cat requires. Oh. Now I'm confused. Oh. That takes care of that. Yeah, okay. So now I'm not sure what we have for the coordinate system of these guys. Pay attention to that. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. We'll just and our mesh format is just, it's really simple. It's a tuple of a NumPy array of vertices and face indices, so it's very easy to make these kinds of changes. Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going to put these on some little stands. And let me actually make a function for that. So I'm picturing like a little frame with like a little table almost with kind of stick legs and casters for wheels that we can put each of these on, because you'd want to be able to wheel around the hardware and kind of position it as you're working on it, have cables coming out of it. So we want to build something generic here where where we can build these different sized stands for different things. So let's see here. Let's call this so this will be a stand with casters, and it's going to have a dimensions, thickness to the bars that it's made out of, and maybe a wheel radius. Oh, nice. Michael F. Kane is here. He says, "Hey yo, stopping by to say hey yo. Did it twice already. Nice." How's your evening going, Michael Kane? And for now, this can be just a single mesh, but eventually we may want to separate out. So this is pretty easy here. Oh, nice. Michael F. Kane says, "Oh, I wanted to get work done, but alas, my daughter had a nap today and was awake until 11. Yeah, that's the problem. When kids are well rested, then they want to stay up, so you gotta wear them out. I've been sending my kids outside to run around, and it's too cold, so they complain about wanting to come in and then also make a mess. So it solves one problem, but creates other problems. So let's start in on the leg here. So we'll just say together, so we don't have to worry about overlaps and stuff too much. Oh, actually, let's not use cylinder. Let's just solidify this. So rib is going to be a rep 2D of solid from rib triangulate. Yeah, this actually is just about as convenient. Attach Z. Yeah. TZ. Oh, and then we need our. What's it complaining about? Oh yeah, you don't even need this. Oops. This is just Yeah, Michael Caine says, yeah, that covers it. Yeah, kids are fun. Secure. There's our legs. The top of the stand will be another thing that we solidify. And dx dy. Just use this. I need a function like this that lets you specify the direction that it solidifies in. Because I'm having to rotate this. It's kind of annoying. So now we just got to place our legs, and then so that's going to be a rectangle that is x thickness. Almost. Almost. What happened? Oh, did that get misaligned? Oh. Yeah. Okay, now what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to not do the leg like this anymore, because it's just going to be actually easier to describe what we want. So we're going to make a that's way simpler than the solidify nonsense. And the reason we also want to do this, I'm just going to do the table too. Jeez, why did I write it like this? This is just actually a lot cleaner for this case. So we want so now, because what I want to do is I want to make a little room for the wheels. So instead of the legs starting at 0, we're going to start them at the wheel radius. Okay. Now let's make the wheels. So our wheel is going to be something like a cylinder of thickness, wheel radius with like 6 subdivisions, and then let's see if I can find some reference. Let's see here. I'm just looking at some casters. See, this is low poly, so I don't want to add a ton of details, but I'm actually kind of picturing something more like a desk. Like this. Yeah, where they kind of come out of the bottom. This. Okay, so these actually they sit, the whole wheel sits completely below the leg. So we can do that. Two. And then we'll also offset it a little bit. So like we'll offset it by That is very close to what I was picturing. This, I just need to spin. I can see. Gonna add some visual interest if we make it like not quite 90. So like 2, 3 or something. Then let's actually do this translation first. So this offset will be an X. Let's see if this... I also want to make the wheels a little bit bigger, but... wrong spot. This has to be that. This needs to be... Now let's do one other thing here. And make the wheels bigger. Yeah. And we can actually do this so we have some intersection. That looks fine. Okay, now let's union all this together. There we go. Okay, I actually want this offset to go positive. Yeah. Yeah, cool. That is just what I want. So I'm not sure about this music. It's very pretty, but it's kind of putting me to sleep. I might see if I can find what I was listening to the other night. Just 1 second here. I was listening to some kind of synth wave. Had a little bit more of a beat. To it though. Just 1 second, you guys. Okay, I think this was it. This 2-hour synthwave LA sunset. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try this. Okay. So we've got our stand. Now what we can do is we can make stands that fit the dimensions of these simulator pieces. And what I actually want to do here is, I think, so it's the dash side A, side B. And I want to trim these so they're not so tall. So this is a real mess. We'll clean it up later. Did I get this wrong the first time? Yes, I did. Derp. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we've got our cockpit pieces now. Now let's make stands for them. So and actually let's just move all of this stuff to a different function now because it's making me nervous. So for each part here, we're going to make a little stand for it. just finding the dimensions of the part here. Just gotta put the part on the stand. And let's see how this works. So oh, Yishi. Hello. How are you doing this evening? I'm working on some low poly furnishings for scene in the hub of my game tonight. And I'm making pretty good headway on something that's kind of complicated. So, feeling pretty good about that. Oh, nice. Oh. So Yeshi says, hello, I'm fine. Actually, I'm supposed to go to work in some 45 minutes. Nice. So it's morning for you. It is just about the middle of the night here. I'm going to try not to stay up too late tonight. I need to catch up on some sleep, but we're still going for a bit here. 6:51 a.m. Nice. So, 7 hours? Yeah, about 7 hours difference. Okay, I think this is gonna do it. Let's just see if we can come up with a nice set of transformations here for these. So we can just kind of give some arbitrary rotations in Z. Probably pretty small. And translations will be in XY. We put the first one at 0. Then these other two are sort of side pieces, so they can go kind of go off to each side. Oh. These. Okay, so Yeshi says, I thought drawing 3D ships would be simply defining polygons and filling them with solid colors or bitmaps. Yeah, so we're not exactly drawing here, we're actually building the 3D models. So, and I'm not really worrying about like materials or colors right now. And it is kind of simple in that sense that it's like you're defining the polygons, but the question is sometimes like, what's the best way to define polygons for what I'm trying to build? Because I don't want to sit and just like type in polygon coordinates, right? I want to say I want like a box or a cylinder, or like define this shape and like move it. And then when you start to build scenes of different objects, you know, we want to build them in a hierarchy, and then each object has a position and a rotation and a translation relative to something else. So that's kind of a lot of what is going on here. Let's see here. So yeah, we're not using this anymore. So I thought I got rid of those. Oh, did I not actually? Okay, no, I did. 0. And there's a... We're still viewing these meshes. Okay. This also needs to be 0. I always get axis 0 and axis 1 confused. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is... We're on the right track here, definitely. Okay, this needs to be negative. Okay. So, yes, she says, could you remind me of the library you're using? As far as I remember, it is not Pygame or Arcade. I was using in Python. Yeah, so the game engine, yeah, here we go. Here we go. The game engine is that I'm using is called Panda 3D. The stuff that I'm doing right now is not in the game engine. It's using a couple other different libraries. So I'm using Polyscope for visualization. And then I'm kind of using my own mesh processing library, which is written in, it is written using NumPy and a little bit of a library called TriMesh for mesh processing. But mostly NumPy. Just NumPy stuff written myself. Pull these back farther. Nice. Okay, this is what I was picturing. Let's now see, the fun thing is, now that we've done all the hard work, right, we can tweak things. So our legs are 5 centimeters thick. I think they should be 8 centimeters thick, and I think the wheels should be a little bit bigger. And I want basically to tweak these rotations in the opposite direction that they are. Yeah. Maybe 8 centimeters is a little too thick. Yeah. Okay, now let's actually, instead of parenting this stuff to this, let's do a new one called Sim Hardware. And let's get rid of, let's see here. Wait a second. Okay, this is left over. What? Okay, something's definitely goofed up here. Okay, yeah, so this just got duplicated. Okay, and don't need this. Okay, I was thinking there's a little bit too much there. Okay, so and we'll call this sim hardware as the root for this. And then we can just drop this into our scene. And call this sim hardware stand, and then we can just view the parts directly here without adding a new parent. Now, this helmet definitely looks on the small side, so I'm wondering if I'm not scaling the helmet correctly. I'm just going to just make a note of that. Where is this coming from? Whoops. Because we know this is working. And let's actually set this helmet up on top of the sort of cockpit part. So this is the, let's see, we'll just rename this to helmet Lindsay, and then we'll do this down at the bottom once we have the other stuff. So we're going to put it on cockpit 0 and let's see here, the Z is not forget my indices here this time. And so it's going to be this is going to be something like, it's going to have a little X offset, maybe 0.2, a very, very tiny Y offset. And then Zmax minus. Yep, and then a little bit of rotation. Let's see how this looks. Nice. Okay, so Yeshi says, gotta get up and leave to work. Good luck and see you next time. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by again. And we almost got it. So it's just a little bit high. Shifted forward a little bit. We'll shift it back. Something like this maybe. Nice. Have a good day. Thanks again for coming. Back a little bit more. PyCharm is having trouble tonight. Let's see here. And we're just gonna fudge the rest of this. So we're gonna add a little fudge factor here. We're gonna add a little fudge factor here. We tried. We got close enough. All right, we got very close to what I was picturing here. And I think there's some other little pieces of hardware that I'd like to add eventually. I'd like to add like a sort of some controls like with a joystick. But I think this is okay for now, and I want to get it into the scene to see how it looks. So what we're going to do is going to parent this. I need to clean this up. Okay, we're going to parent this. Actually, I'm not going to parent it. We're going to set the transformation of it to be and installation is going to be this guy. Plus we want to add the pad thickness, so this stuff is setting on top of the pad. Let's see if we got the right pad here. Easier just to test. This. Almost. Close, but no cigar. Oh, we just need to set the parent. We didn't do that. Yep, it's almost right. So I'm just gonna rotate it 90 degrees or so. Yeah. And let's see here. So if we're looking in, this kind of looks like this. We actually want negative this, and let's actually, just for simplicity's sake right now, let me get rid of that pad. So shift this over a little bit. Yep. Really close now. Now let's just take a look at this. Make sure the scale seems somewhat correct, and I think it does. If we drag our person here over to nice. Panos Dimi says hi there. Hello. So like, does this look about right? Maybe a little bit big. Maybe these stands could be lower, because he's gonna be sitting down working on this. Eventually I'm gonna build a better chair, but let's just see. Yeah, these are too high. So let's something more like have that height. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Not using stand height. Parameterize that correctly. Yeah. This looks more like it. Camera view in the game is going to be something like this. Where we're about at eye height. Oops. Something like this. So we can definitely tweak this more. This will want to fix. Oops. Local Y. But that we can deal with for sure. And then eventually I want to like have cables running out of some of these things. Let's see, how long have we been going? Been going for a good couple hours. Let's actually, nice. Oh, an hour and a half. Nice. Yeah, let's actually keep going for a bit. And as long as we've got some momentum. It's kind of fun after dinking around with math and stuff to kind of look at this and have it actually look like an actual room that you could go into. Like even being low poly and everything. So let's build this mini computer that I'm imagining sitting right here next to the desk. And then maybe after that, if we have time, we'll take a look at some open panels on the floor. But I think that's going to be fairly easy. So that might be a nice thing for another little live stream. Okay. I'm just gonna do this right away in a different function. So we're gonna have the computer itself, and then it's gonna be on casters, and I think we can actually reuse the stand that we just built for that thing that it's setting on. So what I'm picturing is I'm kind of picturing like a pair of towers that are sort of linked together, just with some beveled edges and different features on them for interest. So let's describe, for starters, like what the dimensions of this are going to be. So actually, let's just make sure that this still runs and doesn't cause any problems. And let's get rid of some of the extra. Yeah, we don't have any extra view meshes or anything like that. Okay, so like. So let's say each tower will be a half a meter wide, a meter deep, and a meter high. And then there's also going to be like a bevel on the front corner that's going to be of a certain size. I always have a hard time picturing what these would be, but something like let's see, it'd be more than that. It'd be something like 0.1. And then there's going to be a sort of structure on top that's going to be like a heat sink of some kind. So that's going to be 0.2 wide, 0.75 deep, and will be something like this. Yeah. Okay. And then there will be a gap, or like the space between will be like 0.1. So just flat X between. And then the dimensions of the linking part. The X doesn't really matter here, but it's going to be like 0.2 and then 0.8, 0.8. Okay, so let's and then there'll be additional parts for the different details. So let's build this quick. So the rib is we'll just start with a rectangle of tower dim like this, and then we want it bevel just the one corner. Gotta believe this helps. And here we have to give multiple indices. Space over here. Okay. Almost. So it's going to be 3. Actually, no, I think that is the side that we want this on. And that bevel can definitely be bigger. Let's just exit here. So So we want to shift by half the width. Plus half of the x between. Oops. And we want to translate this whole thing up. So that the base of it is at 0. So dim 2 divided by 2. You see all these divisions by 2 because generally when we build these objects we have them aligned so that their center is at 0. But then for the purposes of building these scenes, it's easier to have the origins, you know, like at the bottom of the object, so they're easy to place different places. Now if this looks good, we'll do a union instead of a concat. Yes, that is almost exactly what I was picturing. Okay, so what is standing out to me is that this can be a little bit bigger and the between can be a little bit smaller. Yeah. Okay, and now we just want to make those heat sinks on the top. So we're gonna box, star heat dim, and then the heat offset's gonna be basically the tower, well, 0 for X, maybe some small amount backward, or actually some small amount forward in Y, maybe like 1.5, and then Z is going to be the these, right? So and we won't name this because we're going to do 2 of them. Oh, and these actually, this is going to be tower offsets. So now let's start putting our part set together here. So and I'm just kind of baking in the transformations here, because the important part is that they're just separate parts. We can give them different colors. There's no purpose really to having them have sensible coordinate systems, so I'm not worrying about that. So now if we view this, so I need to actually go the other way. These, and I think they can be a little shorter. Not quite so far back. I could actually calculate the exact size of these, but I don't feel like it right now. But yeah, something like this. Okay, so now we just got to get this thing on its stand, maybe add a little power outlet connection spot for it. Let's actually add the outlet. Kind of established something of a size for outlets here. So actually we can add these computer and we can just eyeball this too. So it's going to be a translation where we're going from let's see, so let's start with the X. So in the X, and then these we can well, 1 divided by 2, 3, yeah, something like that, but I actually am going to want it on the negative side. The way this ended up being oriented. Yep. And well. Yep, cool. So there's an outlet that'll be on it. Now the last thing to do is just the stand. So let's actually derive some. So let's just like total x is going to be tower dim times 2 plus between x by tower dim 0. Now we can use this a couple other places, like we can do total x divided by 2 should give us the same thing. Yep. Okay, so now because total y is just tower dim 1 and total z is tower dim 2. So now we can build our little stand. So our stand is going to be our stand with casters. We'll just add a little margin around the end. But Z is not total Z, it's this is how high we want it to be. So I'll do something like that. Yeah. So the height is going to be that. The thickness of the parts should be something fairly small. And wheel radius should be something like this. Alright, now, so we can make stand height a variable, kind of like we did before. And then we can use that to set the height of this. So now our root is going to be our stand. And then now our body is going to be parented to the stand. And our transformation is going to be a translation up by stand height. Yeah, look at that. So that's almost exactly what we wanted. I think the stand can be higher. Yep. Actually, split the difference. Look at that. And actually, wait a second. I'm wondering if we're not calculating. Oh yeah, this needs to be divided by 2. Yeah, there we go. Just yeah, that is better. Actually tweak this down a little bit. This is the fun part now. Can kind of tweak stuff, get it really looking like we want it to look. All right, that looks great. Now, computers need flashing lights. So let's actually add a couple of light pieces here on the front that we can control once we get some materials going. So they're not going to really look like a whole lot of anything right now, but I'm thinking like a little strip just on the front of each of those towers. So just going to be something like a so just a little quad that's, say, maybe a couple centimeters by a couple centimeters, and oh wait, no. It's so dumb that I don't have a function to do this already. Samples here. Okay. Well, oh no, this is actually what I was thinking it was. So yeah, this is fine, because we can just do a circle of radius with the angle offset of tau divided by 4. Wait. Tau divided by 8. Jeez, I'm overthinking this. Rect 2D. And let's actually just right away So, our Y positions are going to be something like let's just kind of hard code this. So we've got the Z position actually, and then the X position will be, we'll put them on the side, like down one side of each of the towers. So it'll be between x divided by 2 plus just do 5 centimeters, and then this will be basically minus total x divided by 2 plus this amount. Right, so then oops, so let's just do this here. So now we just have to add these in. So lights equals and it'll be a part where parent is the body, model is the light, and the transformation is going to be a translation where this pretty simple. It's just going to be x, y will be total y divided by 2, and z for index x. I'm sure I got some of this wrong, but this is very, very close, I guarantee it. Oh yeah, so they're offset wrong, and it looks like I got like pause. See? Yeah, so instead of 0, it's gonna be like this is gonna be offset from half the body height, so it's like x plus tower dim 2 divided by 2 x's. Yep, look at that. There they are. And let's actually make them a little bit bigger. Shift them up a little bit more. So, too high. Okay, that is looking nice. And I think this is good progress for this. So let's get it into the scene. And then I think I will probably take a stab myself, not on stream, at adding some more cables and different bits and pieces. So let's see here. So this is going to be really similar to the desk positions. So it's going to be let's just derive this just as long as we have this available to us. So it'll be lined up with the center of the desk. And in Y, we want to add got to stick it in the scene. We're almost there. Lachlan Williams waves hello. Let's see here. So why? Do I have a sign flip here or something? Subtract where the center of the desk is going to be. Oh, we want to subtract. We can just manually set this. It's not a big deal. Not sure why this is not. Oh, that's why. Wait. A second. Definitely. There's my problem. Classic double sign flip. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, now this needs to be minus. That needs to, yeah, there it is. Because if I do like this, yeah, okay. And there we go. Okay, so now it just needs to come out from the wall a little bit more. So 3, that was the Y. The X is going to have to be minus 0.25. And 0.25 is probably too much. But we're really close. Yeah, look at that. Oh man, it's fun to have something kind of pictured in your head and then see it. It's a little bit big. It's a little bit big. And let's see here. Let me just double check the dimensions of my guy here. Make sure that he's not throwing stuff off by being too small. He's 1.81 meters. Just a feet. So he is a good 5.9 feet tall. So he's not the tallest guy. But yeah, so this is a little bit big, but now check this out. You can just bring the size of this right down like this. Okay, now our size of our middle part is too big. So this has to come down. But there we go. Now that is closer to the right size. I'm just gonna make those heat sinks a little bit smaller. Let's just take a look at it in the scene again. Yeah. Okay, so our should be something like this, maybe. Yeah, that is looking pretty good. So when we get there, we can use the spline. Oh, and I've got to drag those down a little bit too. But we can use the same spline method from before. Let me actually just still want this guy to be pretty beefy. So we can use the same spline method that we used before to run, some cables kind of like between the computer and different things. And just add a lot of visual interest to the scene to have like these different cables running, cables of different things. This scene is really starting to look lived in and cool, you know. I can't wait to see it in the engine, with the engine lighting, with the actual characters and stuff. Especially when we get the actual, like the real characters built. We don't have these stand-in models from a long time ago. But yeah, well, I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. But thanks to everyone who stopped by and watched. It's fun to hang out and chat and work together. I hope that you are having some good luck and good success with your programming or creative projects, and hope to see you back here sometime. I have a lot of other videos on my channel of work like this and different things relating to this project: low poly modeling, Blender, high detail stuff, game development. So make sure to check that out if you like what you see here tonight. But thanks again for coming. Have a good night.